Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about advanced techniques to keep people interested, and that's interested in your messages, continually subscribing to you, reading your blog posts, whatever. And I've just read a book called Persuasion, and it's the latest book from Robert Cialdini, and I had high hopes for it, but to be honest, if you're going to buy one of his books, buy Influence, his first one, not this one. Because Persuasion is okay, but not okay enough to recommend. There's too much fluff for my liking, including literally the second half of the book being filled up with references and page notes. But there are some good ideas in it. A couple of the ideas reminded me about some things you can do with content creation. They're heavily based on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and the way our mind works. Because we hate things to be unfinished. That's how Franklin Mint and courses and partworks operate. Franklin Mint often goes so far as to send out the stand to hold the complete set of whatever it's selling so that you're permanently reminded it's not finished yet. They've got all those gaps, and next month you're going to fill one of them. And one very effective sales technique I read about, though, in the Cialdini book was to send out the... Sorry, not in the Cialdini book, ignore that bit. One very effective sales technique I read about quite a while ago now was send out the stand and one of 3 pens with the promise of bringing the other 2 when the sales appointment happened. Same kind of thing. They sent the pen top. Had to be a good quality pen, so not just the average cheap one you can buy in a supermarket, with the promise of bringing the pen itself to fit in the cap. And we can apply that kind of thinking to the web as well. Years ago, Yannick Silver suggested the technique with ebooks was add the words part 1 to the first one you produce, even if you're not sure that part 2 will ever see the light of day. And you could easily do the same with a giveaway product. I've not tried it yet, but my best guess is it would increase the number of people who stayed on your list past the first message. A lot of people sign up for the freebie and then either, well, quite often they'll use a throwaway email address, one that they use specifically for signing up. I've got several, and basically never read the rest of the messages. But if you did part 1 as your freebie, it's certainly worth testing. Split up your giveaway book or your video into several parts, and if you've got more than one chapter or section, that's pretty easy. Then give away the first part on sign up, second part on day 2, and so on. Anything that offers X number of tips, 3, 5, whatever, and it's usually an odd number, is open to doing this. If you go down this route, give away your best tip first. And that could be kind of contrary to what you'd normally think, but there's a method behind the madness. Years ago I was taught to do this by a guy called Ken McCarthy. He's an excellent copywriter and was also responsible for organising the first ever conference on commercialising the internet way back in 1994. That's the Wikipedia page about him, and as you can see, best known for pioneering work with the movement to commercialise the internet in the first part of the 1990s, and that's before the web was really born, including early experiments with legitimate email advertising, contributions to development of the banner ad, practical applications of pay-per-click advertising, and internet video. Time magazine credit him with originating the idea of using click-through rates as the key metric of website performance. I mean, he was an innovator well ahead of his time, still around today. As said there, organised the first conference ever held on potential commercial applications of the web with, it's a bit off screen there, Mark Andreessen, if that's how you pronounce him, the co-founder of Netscape, as one of the speakers. So yeah, he knows a thing or two, and his copywriting, I wouldn't put him in the top 10 in the world, but I'd put him probably in the top 20. He might get offended by that, but I don't think he would. So logic behind, as I said, he taught me when he brought his system seminar to the UK a number of years ago, and there were a number of us in the room. But the logic behind giving your absolute best information away for free in your sales letter is simple. People automatically assume if you're getting that much for free, the paid info is even better. That's actually kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because since expectations manage so much of what we do, that's actually the case, even though the best info was free. You can expand on that information in your product because you haven't got room in your sales letter to do a 10, 20, 30, 60 minute or even several hour presentation. So you can expand on it, and you can give extra ways to tweak and use it, but you've got the buy-in from customers before they've actually bought your product. And that's really, really important. And that works with giveaways, it works with email lists, it works with everything. As I said, the same goes for freebie products, because freebies are often harder to sell in quote marks than paid products, because deep down we're thinking, or even right up front, we're thinking, what's the catch? So it can help enormously. And taking this to its logical conclusion, I'd suggest testing and offering the 3 biggest secrets of whatever your niche is. And make sure they really are the biggest secrets, not just some stuff you could pick up in a 2-minute search on YouTube or a few second search on Google or whatever, and split them into 3 parts. Best part first. Several advantages to this. 3 smaller parts are pretty much by definition quicker and easier to create than 1 longer part. For the person getting them, each part is easier to digest, bite-sized chunks rather than eating an elephant whole in one sitting. And there's an anticipation factor, especially when you follow the next part of this technique. Which is what I did at the end of the last screen. Saturday Morning Cinema called it a cliffhanger, partly because the hero was so often left hanging over the edge of a cliff, and he had to go back next week to find out whether or not he survived. And of course he did survive, because movie heroes almost always do, but you still had to find out. You knew probably he would, but this might be the week where he doesn't, and therefore who's going to take over, what's going to be the gory death, because kids like gory deaths, especially when it's someone else on a film and it's fiction. But you had to find out. And TV series do exactly the same. Some have cliffhangers at the end of every episode. I've lost count of the number of tight squeezes Jack Bauer got into, often even just before a commercial break as well as the end of an episode, so even more than 24 in the series. But other series can be quite good at leaving the cliffhanger as the end of a series, an explosion, but we don't see the precise details. Or the end of part 1 with part 2 and being the start of the next series. So hold on for a year. And it works. Ratings go up. The closer you can get to doing that with your now split up giveaway product, or even your email series, the better. We're naturally inquisitive. That's how humans have invented so many different things, and we seem to be hardwired to be completists. Sure, if the thing we started is boring or doesn't deliver, we'll leave it behind. But as long as it's holding our attention, that's good. Now, you may well be thinking this is all very well, but the people who write those TV shows and who used to write the Saturday morning cliffhangers are more experienced and probably better paid than you, and maybe that's true, maybe that isn't. But you don't have to come up with 24 or more cliffhangers in one batch. You just need 1. If you already know what part 2 or tomorrow's email is going to be, then you already have the seed for the trailer in it. As I said, I've done it several times on these slides, and I've deliberately paused slightly longer than I might do clicking between. If you don't know, there's always the find out more tomorrow. It's a bit lame, but it can work, especially if you turn the phrasing round a bit. So tomorrow we'll take a look at how you can use XYZ technique in real life. XYZ could be just whatever you've explained today. Or in the next part of this series, we'll go deeper into how you can get under the skin of your prospects. Or, I maybe shouldn't do this, but tomorrow I'll show one of my most successful yet simple techniques to whatever. Lots and lots of different ways you can do that. Actually quite easy. Put your mind to it. Practice a few continuation lines. Check some of the ideas used for cliffhangers in the books you've read. I've not read it, but apparently the Da Vinci Code uses this at the end of each chapter, so you're drawn into reading the next chapter. Any book or TV series that's been pretty much unputdownable will give you clues to what you need. Just adapt them. And practicing works nicely. Draft a handful of possible continuation lines, then close the Word document or wherever you've written it, and reopen it tomorrow. Read each one of the lines you wrote and which one intrigues you most. That's the one to use. If none of them grab your attention, that's okay, because these things don't come overnight. Just create the next part of whatever it is you're giving away, or write the next email in your sequence, and then pick up something from it that you can wrap in an air of mystery. That's all it is. And mysteries they're good. Almost anything will do, from the well-worn leave a gap method, so discover how underscore can do whatever, where you partly tell people what you're going to reveal. And reveal, that's a good word for this kind of message. Use a thesaurus to come up with other good words, because reveal implies that the thing you're showing is normally hidden. So there we are, we got little synonyms for reveal. Announce, confess, that's good, confessions of. Divulge, bit, but yeah, explain, yeah, bit. What, expose, yes, definitely. Inform, could work. Publish, brand new publish, never before published by you. Then we got, yeah, antonyms, not so much, but proclaim maybe, notify probably not. So you can use that and bring in the open, bring to light. I've got to get this out of my system. I can't wait to tell you, but you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Let the cat out of the bag. You've seen that be used by internet marketers before. Or sometimes they'll call it spill the beans. Make public. That again implies that it's not currently public. So that was just a quick search on a thesaurus, and then we got more words related. And you can click on any of those to basically come up with even more. So it works. And words are just powerful things. Use them to your advantage. Keep people interested. Especially in those first few, almost certainly pre-written emails in your sequence, so you do actually know what's following probably most of the time. Or you can use them on reverse squeeze pages where you want people to click through to the next page, and with a reverse squeeze page you reveal whatever it is, and then at the end there's ... something else that you're going to show in the next thing, and either it's another page, and reverse squeeze pages can be 2 or 3 pages before you get to the sign up, or there can be one. Depends how much you've written and whatever else you decide. Test it. But it's quite fun. And, well, there's always more to learn. That was a subtle cliffhanger. And, yeah, this is one of the videos that is on my sequence of advanced internet marketing techniques generally. And if you'd like to find out more of these, I've put this one out into the public because sometimes I do. I think it's too important to actually leave inside a membership area. It'll be in there and it'll be there for reference, which is easier than trying to find it again on YouTube, which is always a pain in the neck. But if you'd like to find out more, click the link below this video and you can join me every single week for advanced information like this and lots of stuff I've already created, so you'll have more than enough to keep you occupied, more than enough to keep you going in your internet marketing and take you to the next level. So if you'd like to do that, click the link below this video and join me. Thanks for watching.